A new PMI certification was a surprise when they announced it back at PMI Global a few weeks ago. And when it was announced by Pierre, the reception across the board of this newly developed, yet still in pilot phase certification was pretty well received overall, though. But then I saw a video that Andrew Ramadan recently posted asking whether PMI is devaluing the PMP with this new advanced credential. I think that's a fair question. His materials have helped thousands of PMs, but I have to disagree with his rationale around this. So I want to offer another perspective. One from someone who doesn't have tens of thousands of students yet and is only teaching all of this PMP and PMI material on the weekends. First, Andrew raised a valid concern. If PMI is building something that's above the PMP, does that mean employers will start chasing this new shiny object? And does it make the PMP now just middle tier? That's understandable. There are over 1 million PMP holders worldwide. And the PMP has been the gold standard for decades when it comes to project managers. So anytime PMI wants to introduce something higher, people are naturally going to ask, does that make the PMP less effective? So let's unpack that thought. Here's the core idea. PMI is building a tiered pathway, one that's inside project management, and it's not replacing anything that's out there. Right now, project management credentials look like this. You have the CAPM, which is foundational, the PMP, which is professional and experience-based, and then you have the PGMP and the PFMP, which are the program and portfolio management. What's being missed is the way they differentiate. There is a huge difference between someone who passed the PMP yesterday and only has those 3 years of professional project management experience versus someone who has 15 years of delivering highly complex, multi-million-dollar efforts. This new certification is going to fill the gap for that. It's the PMP Plus. It's a specialization, similar to board certifications in medicine or advanced designations in cybersecurity. Sometimes it's not a shortcut in any means, and it definitely is not something beginners can chase. So this certification won't be getting in the way of anyone new in the field. Let's put this hierarchy in plain English. You have the CAPM, which is basically asking, do you understand project management language? You have the PMP, which is asking, can you lead real projects? And now this new advanced certification means, can you lead complex projects under high stakes? And can your experience be validated by a peer review? This actually protects the PMP when you really think about it, because you have to hold an active PMP to even qualify for this. So if anything, we're going to cement the PMP as a non-negotiable foundation for advanced practices and this certification. And this isn't something that's like unusual that other organizations aren't doing out there. It's actually what mature professionals get towards. You know, you have cybersecurity. They have a CompTIA Security Plus. Then you have the CISSP. Then you have the ISSAP and the ISSEP, the elite tiers in the cybersecurity field. And then we have the cloud certifications, like the AWS Solutions Architect Associate and the AWS Solution Architect Professional, or even human resources. You have the SHRM CP and the SHRM SCP. This is not anything that's different than any other field. Even medicine, you have doctors, board certified, and then they go to fellowship and subspecialization. No one says a cardiologist devalues being a family doctor. It simply identifies a practitioner who has operated at a higher level of complexity. And if anything, we can say that PMI is finally catching up to this. Now, let me be balanced though. There are some valid concerns that Andrew raised. PMI needs to do a better job at defining high complexity. I don't know what that means. I don't think anyone does right now, other than the people that are involved with putting this together. The costs are going to matter because the cost of any certification right now with PMI has been going up. But then you have the training pathways that matters with this peer review, who's doing it, how that's going to happen. There's also the thought of hiring managers might misunderstand the credential. I mean, I have the PMI RMP, a risk management professional, and I was sitting for an interview with a guy who was a PMP, and he had no idea what the RMP even was. So I don't even know if it's going to take the industry probably a while to even figure out what this new advanced certification is. So PMI is going to have to communicate the purpose of this certification clearly to the community. So I definitely agree with all of that Andrew said. But where I differ is evolution doesn't mean evaluation. Project environments have gotten more complex, more digital, more interconnected. Projects today don't look anything like they did in 2005. So PMI isn't replacing the Rolls Royce. They're acknowledging that some project managers, they're just flying 747s right now. They've skipped the car altogether. And a single certification cannot represent every level of a profession forever. And honestly, it shouldn't. This new credential gives highly experienced PMs a way to demonstrate mastery at the edges of complexity without undoing what the PMP already stands for. So Andrew, if you just happen to be watching this, you've shaped the PMP landscape more than probably anyone I know, but I have to disagree with you overall at your concept. Hope we can still be friends. And if you're a PMP or if you're thinking about becoming one, keep going. Nothing about what PMI announced takes away from the value of your credential. This new certification is simply a new lane, something for people who truly need it. And if you found this helpful, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and check out my PMP and PMI RMP exam prep courses coming up in 2026. I'll leave a link for them in below. All right, I'll see you in the next video. I'm Russ Parker, the Bearded PM, out.